Today, we're going to talk about the 5 best forms of passive income. Passive income is really important because once you have enough passive income, you can live off of that income and let the rest of your investments grow. Passive income is always going to require some initial effort or money, but it doesn't require the same effort as it would to do a job to earn that money, like a full-time job. So with that being said, the very first form of passive income that we're going to talk about today is dividends. Let's take Procter & Gamble, for example. They have one of the longest histories of paying out dividends. Currently, Procter & Gamble costs around $150, and they have a dividend yield rate of around 3%. So what exactly does that mean? So let's dig into the math. A dividend yield rate is how much a company pays out in dividends relative to their stock price. And so if we take Procter & Gamble's stock price of $150 and we take 3% of that, that means you get paid roughly $5 a year in dividends per share. So if you had 100 shares of Procter & Gamble, then you would make 5 times 100, which is $500 in dividends a year. So that's passive income right there. There are plenty of companies that offer dividends, and there's a wide range of percentages, somewhere from 0.1% all the way up to 5 to 10%. Your stock can still grow while you're able to gain money from these dividends and use these dividend funds. You can either reinvest these dividends or you can use these dividends to pay for your expenses. So let's say, going back to the Procter & Gamble example, if you make $500 in dividends each year, that's enough to pay a couple months of electricity bills, or if you need to buy a new laptop. So in this example with Procter & Gamble, you're earning 4% dividend yield every single year. The stock price continues to go up, and basically in 25 years, you'll get that money back, because if you make 4% in 25 years, that's 100% of what you paid originally, and the stock price continues to go up. You continue to earn dividends, and you make a big profit. Next up is the HYSA. I think something that's really important is to keep your money in an account that will continue to grow money. And the HYSA is a high yield savings account. This allows your money to sit in this account, and you can withdraw it when you need to, but it'll earn interest on it. A lot of regular banking accounts, checking accounts, don't have any interest. And even the savings accounts attached to those companies are 0.001%, where you'll earn a couple cents a year. But you're not really earning any interest, and these companies are making money off of you by you keeping their money in their account. So of course, you should keep 2 to 3 months worth of expenses in your checkings accounts, but I would recommend keeping your emergency fund and any other savings. Like if you're saving up for a big house, then you should keep this money in an HYSA where you can earn interest. Currently, right now, you can get interest rates of like 3.5%, which is a lot of money compared to $0, right? So if you had $10,000 in HYSA with 3.5% interest rate, then you'd make $350 a year in interest by doing nothing. The money just sits in your account. You're able to use it as you need to, move it wherever you need, and it's still yours, and you're earning $350 for free. Not only this, but the interest compounds on itself, right? If you have $10,000 in your account for a year, you'll have accrued around $350 interest. And then the next year, you'll actually have $10,350 in your account. So you'll make interest on that additional $350 now sitting in your account. So as the years go on, this compounds more and more and more, and you're able to make a lot more money. So by just keeping your money in a HYSA, you're going to be making a lot more money relative to just keeping it in a regular checkings account. Not only this, but a lot of these HYSA companies will pay you $100, $200 as a sign-up bonus to create these new accounts. So on top of whatever interest you're making, you also get to make a couple $100 up front. The next way to make some passive income is by using your employer 401k match. An employer 401k match is where your employer will match a certain percentage of your contribution to your retirement fund. Something that's very common is like employers would match 50% or 100% of your contributions up to 1% or 2% of your base salary. So in this example, let's say you make $80,000 a year, and your employer will match your 401k contributions up to 1% of your base salary. And so 1% of $80,000 is $1,600. So if you invest at least $1,600 into your 401k, then your employer will match that and put $1,600 into your 401k as well. So this is free money. Usually it'll reset every single year. And so your employer just gave you $1,600 of free money, and it can grow in your retirement fund interest free, depending on your retirement plan. Number 4 is treasury bonds or T-bills. Treasury bonds will have yield rates varying depending on however long your treasury bond is for. They have very common ones that are a year, 5 years, and 10 years, depending on the length and the current market conditions. The interest rate will vary, but currently right now you can get a 1 year, 5 year, 10 year for around 3.5% yield rate. So in this scenario, it's somewhat similar to an HYSA, but in this case, you're actually loaning your money out to the US bank. You sort of do this with an HYSA, but with an HYSA, you have flexibility in taking money out whenever you need to. With a treasury bond, you can't get that money back unless you incur a penalty. So whatever money you put into treasury bonds, you want to make sure that you're okay with keeping it in there and never having to withdraw it. But treasury bonds are super stable, and as long as the US government is around, then they'll likely be able to pay back your treasury bill, even though it's a loan. So these are usually very low risk. The US has never defaulted on any of these treasury bonds, so you should be in a good standing. The last one we're talking about today is cashback rewards programs. Something like Rakuten, you're able to, all you have to do is sign up at the very beginning, create an account. They'll even have like sign up bonuses, so you can make a free $25, $50 from that. And then every time you visit a site that Rakuten has percent cashback on, you just apply it. It's very simple. It'll pop up for you. You don't even need to even think about it. It will let you know. And then when you're ready to check out, you'll be like, oh, okay, I'll apply Rakuten. And so it ranges from somewhere like 1% to 5%. So if you're shopping on Best Buy and you need to buy a new laptop or something, and the laptop is $1,000, if Rakuten has a 5% cashback on Best Buy, then you're making $50 back. So essentially your purchase just got $50 cheaper. On top of, if you use a credit card, then you get certain cash back with that as well. So these little things can add up and help you save money and earn more money. So I would definitely recommend having Rakuten on. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. You're able to just use it whenever you go shopping. And so it'll save you money. Hopefully you learned something from this video and you're able to make some passive income now with these new resources and supplement your primary income.